Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the United Review, where we talk about all things Man United. And obviously big news happened on Monday this week with Ten Hag being sacked. The Ten Hag era has come to an end, as Ten Hag said himself, eras do come to an end, and it's an era that they probably need to come to an end in the summer. I myself am currently not a fan of the fact that the era has come to an end now at this time of the season when there's a game, tonight. Obviously, when I'm recording this video right now, we currently do not have a new permanent manager. We are currently linked with Ruben Amorim. Fabrizio Romano was, here we go, the Ruben Amorim links, but we'll wait and see how that happens. I'll give my thoughts on that when that does happen. I'll be giving my honest thoughts before we see him be our manager. But right now we have Ruud van Nistelrooy at the helm. I am glad that we are looking at a permanent manager role right now, rather than saying let's see how Ruud does during the season and then Ruud might take over. I didn't want Ruud to take over. If we're going to have someone who was an interim manager who then became a manager, I just wanted to kept Ollie. If I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still of the belief that Ollie was the best manager we've had since Fergie. He's played the best football, and that's what we're kind of dying out for right now, is some good football for us to watch. So, like, when the times are bad and we're not winning anything, at least we can say we've enjoyed the games. Like, if you think about under Ole, it was enjoyable against Liverpool. We were winning these games. We were having good results in these games. Under Ten Hag, we have not had good results in these games. We've been absolutely hammered by Liverpool 7-0 in one of the games. We got beat both games last year as well by Liverpool, I believe. And then obviously, and we drew, and then we got beat in one of them as well. We drew 0-0 against one of them, didn't we? And then we beat them. We drew both of them last year, didn't we? And then we beat one of them. Fair enough, okay. But still, we got beat this year by Liverpool. We've never had good results against City really under Ten Hag, apart from the FA Cup final and that one game in his first season there. These are the results that kind of matter. These big results are the ones that are going to turn fans like away or for you. Because if you get results in the big games, you get results in those two games specifically, and you consistently get results in those two games specifically, the fans will back you because they're the games you want to win the most. I've always said, if you tell me at the start of the season, United are going to lose 34 games this year, but they'll beat Liverpool twice and they'll beat City twice, I'll be like, I've had an happy season then. I've had an happy season. Obviously, I wouldn't have had an happy season, but beating them two, and I'm happy for them 4 weeks that where we did do that. But yeah, it has come to an end. It needed to come to an end, really, didn't it? The results haven't been there. I do feel like the West Ham game being the game that he got sacked for isn't down to his fault. Like, I think we've been playing good football recently. I think the attack's been playing quite free-flowing football recently. I think it's been playing enjoyable football recently in the front three with Garnacho, Rashford and Højlund. I think they've been really good together recently, with Bruno Fernandes just behind them. Obviously Bruno Fernandes was missing for the Fenerbahce game, but that's Jose Mourinho. It's a Jose Mourinho team, so it's going to be difficult to play against Jose Mourinho team. Turkish teams and Jose Mourinho always used to get the best out of us, and do us over. Even under the Fergie days, it's just what's happened. People say, Fergie went toe-to-toe with Mourinho. He did, and Mourinho beat him every single time. So yeah, it's one of them. It hurts. That's it's happened now. It does. It's one of them. Seeing Ten Hag go, but he needed to go. He did need to go. As I said, that West Ham game just didn't feel like the game that he should have gone for. If you look at what Jose got sacked from a really poor decision making in a 3-0 loss to Liverpool. You could see the head loss was there. See, it was just completely gone. The dressing room was gone, and the results had built up. And in that Liverpool game, knocked him. And then same with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the Watford game. We got beat 4-0. The results had built up, and in that massive loss, kicked him and killed him. Bad decisions once again didn't do it for him. And it gets to the West Ham game now, and it wasn't down to bad decisions from Ten Hag of why we lost this game. It was down to poor finishing and a really, really terrible refereeing decision. Like an absolutely awful refereeing decision. And just shows how low confidence referees are right now. But it's got a man sacked from his job because of how bad the refereeing is in this country right now, which this video's not for. This video is for of like, what is the future looking like? Obviously, we've been linked with Amorim, which is something on its own. I'll make a whole separate video on that once our new manager is announced, or if it's not announced by Saturday, then we'll do a video about all the possibilities of who could be United's next manager, which is always a fun thing to talk about. I have already made a video on that. I said if I could get anyone in the world right now to be our United manager, it would be Inzaghi. It would be 100% Inzaghi from Inter Milan. I think he's had a really good few years at Inter Milan, obviously only winning one league title, but that I think he's got two. Now, I think he's only got one on it. Conte got that one a few years ago. If you look at the football they play, they've held massive teams in Europe to massive results for them, and also reached the Champions League final, and are playing out of this world, and have a really similar style to how we could play. Like, the way he's got his players playing, we could easily have our players playing like that if we were fully fit. We just need a fully fit team, which is always hard at Man United to get a fully fit team. But yeah, the Ten Hag era has come to an end. Obviously, it gave us some really good moments. 2 trophies, the Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. The only manager since Fergie to win trophies in 2 separate years as well, which is something there for him. He's very much a cup manager, and I feel like this might help his CV out if he wants like the Holland job or something like that. Like, as a Netherlands boss, I think he could do all right. He really loves working with Dutch players. He likes working with young Dutch players as well, and he is good for a cup run, so I think he would do really well for a Netherlands job. I won't lie to you, but at the end of the day, he just wasn't there for the United job. I said it from the start. I said it when we got linked with him. I said, I don't like Dutch managers. I do not think Dutch managers work in the Premier League. I don't think the style of Dutch football works in the Premier League. And you're going, Callum, but Arne Slot's doing really well right now in the Premier League. Arne Slot doesn't play Dutch football as like the way Ten Hag, traditional Dutch football. Arne Slot plays more German football in the same way, like, from Klopp. He fits the system. And that's why he dominated in the Dutch league as well with Feyenoord. But yeah, Dutch football doesn't work. Look at the stats. Dutch football doesn't get you goals. It might be really good defensively, but it doesn't get you goals. And I feel like you can kind of still sit up with Arne Slot. Like, really defensively, Liverpool have been sound, but in some games the goals have been lacking. Look at the Leipzig game last week where it was only 1-0. Goals can lack sometimes, and I feel like Liverpool are yet to see that yet, because they've got great attackers like Salah and like Luis Diaz and like Jota who can make up for it, so that when United were in the same situation under Van Gaal, just the attackers weren't quite there yet. It was a very young Marcus Rashford, a very young Martial, and a very young Depay that was up front for us, and that's where you can see the problems occurring, because Dutch football doesn't allow for that free-flowing attack that the Premier League needs. And that's why we need to look at a manager that allows free-flowing attack that the Premier League needs and doesn't focus too heavily on the defensive side of things. That's why I probably don't want a Portuguese manager either, because once again, Portuguese football is heavily defensive. And I'd want someone like, we're getting with Xavi Hernandez, which I would kind of take as well, because not only did he defensively set up well, but attacking they set up great and did amazing in the games, and obviously won the La Liga. So if we could take anyone right now that's available and not our club, Xavi Hernandez would be very up there for me. But yeah, let's see what the future holds. Let's see what the future holds. It needed to happen. It's happened. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, a game tonight against Leicester. We'll see how that game goes as well. Hopefully a win under Ruud. Obviously, Carrick did really well when he took over as like a quick caretaker. So hopefully Ruud can do the same. Let's find out. That's going to be the end of the video now, guys. I do thank you for watching. Like the video, leave a like. You want to see more, subscribe, because I'm on the channel every single day. Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully I do catch you next time. Cheers.